Hello and welcome to the Fourth Estate, your number one current affairs program on television. I am Folashade Ogurinde, and of the program, of course, as you know, we take a look at issues from the media perspective. And today we've packaged a lot of interesting topics for you today. First on the list is soldiers killed policemen on special duty, freed kidnapped kingpin Wadume, suspect confesses soldiers' involvement, and defense headquarters says kidnapped kingpin's arrest won't stop our probe. And of course, the second issue we're looking at today is new ministerial appointees, matters arising. The third issue is confusion over alleged EFCC raid on Amber Days residents. Anti-graft agency denies raid but admits ongoing investigation. The fourth issue is Atiku PDP lose appeal against APC at Supreme Court as Presidential Tribunal takes final steps from parties in presidential petition. And the last issue and more is Buhari bars ministers from direct contact with him, retains petroleum portfolio and retains 12 ministers. All this and more after this break. Back. This is still the Fourth Estate, your number one current affairs program on television. I have with me esteemed guest analyst on the show today. I have with me Mr. Osa, director, is a guest, he's a lawyer and also a journalist. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. It's nice being here again.
Thank you very much. And I also have Mr. Tunde Abaton, he's a journalist. How are you?
Fine. Thank you for being here again.
All right, many thanks, gentlemen, for being on the show. Let's begin the program now. The first issue we'll be tackling is soldiers killed policemen on special duty, freed kidnapped kingpin Wadume, suspect confesses, and soldiers' involvement in defense headquarters. He says kidnapped kingpin's arrest won't stop our probe. Now, according to reports, there was a statement made by Wadume. He says that army captain on my payroll. Now, this story has evolved from, the release of, the escape of Wadume and now his rearrest, by the Nigerian police. Now, we're seeing different factions and Wadume now saying that, the army is deeply involved in his escape. What are your comments on this?
Well, I think basically I'd like to take us back to 1989 or 1990, in the Alele saga. You see, there cannot be smoke without fire. In the process of getting Aneni, when he became a terror to a former Edo State, Bende State, and some other things, it became so Edo State that nobody can get him. But at a stage, one of the top police officers, the DP, I think Yamo also, he was fingered among those people packing him. So to everybody everywhere we have to lobby him here and there. When you look at Evans' case too, you will see some senior police officer who will have been compromising the system. So what we have just heard about Wadume is a confirmation of a lot of things that have been going on for a long time. Because there's no way a simple individual can perfect and do all the atrocity he has done without getting caught by the non-camps of the law. And what this means is that if a captain, if the man has actually confessed that the captain is behind, it means many other series of kidnapping and banditry that is going on in Nigeria had the handiwork of people in the military or the police, so to say. Until they are caught, you never know. So the thing is that the whole system, the whole security gamut of Nigeria has been compromised. Why are we having it difficult to get to Boko Haram? Because I always tell people that when there's intelligence failure, the Boko Haram people know the workings of the military. But the military didn't know the workings of the Boko Haram. Which means there are some insiders that are feeding the Boko Haram intel about how they move. They know where the military is going to move. So if the intelligence network is compromised, there's very little the military or the police can do. So what Wadume has actually confessed is what has been going on. And it means that we really have to work. The federal government really has to work about a lot of our security system. Number two is the fact that I think we have to sit down and see which of the arms is supposed to be on the highway. Does the military have any problem or any business on our highways? The answer is no. So we have to, the federal government has to sit down and clearly demarcate the line of responsibilities. As far as I'm concerned, the military is not supposed to be on the highway or the street.
Now,
they're supposed to maintain the territorial integrity and defense and war. They are not supposed to be on the highway. It is the business of the police. Because if the police alone are on the highway, there's no way the military can shoot at them. They are doing their work.
Now,
so
speaking of highways, the reports also revealed that, according to Wadume, he confessed that at every checkpoint, they gave, security agents 20,000 naira.
It is a compromise. They did it now to compromise the system now. So if you have a captain giving you backup, you must also have the police giving you backup. If it is the police along the way, when elections are being conducted, to move a ban, during the time we used to move ballot box from one place to the other, are you not going to see the police on the way? Are they not going to be compromised? They are compromised. So whenever any set of security officers refuse to be compromised, and that is when they get arrested. Or if you don't line their pockets, or you don't fulfill your obligation. So what we are saying now is that the whole system is compromised. True and true. So the best thing is to look inward. Because if you don't look inward, we are not near solving this problem. There is a saboteur within the military and the police network we have in Nigeria. And that is why all these characters are going away with a lot of things they are doing. And that is why the war against banditry, kidnapping, and some other things is difficult to win. Because there has always been saboteur within the system.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abato. Now,
Yes.
Mr. Osa, I want you to comment on this. Now, of course, there will be more revelations by, Wadume, and we've seen different factions to this story. And of course, the report said, of course, again that the Joint Investigative, Forum is quite alarmed at his confession. Does this mean, the army has been so compromised, or our security agencies have been so compromised that the security of the average Nigerian is at jeopardy? Please, could you comment on this?
There's no doubt about that, there's endemic corruption that ravaged every segment of Nigerian society, to the extent that even those segments of Nigerian society you expect to be above board are certainly not above board, like has been revealed by this Wadume saga. I think I have to sound a note of warning that we must provide adequate security for Wadume, because the next thing I likely hear is that he died in custody, so that more revelations will not come out. And I want to assure you that might likely happen if he has people who higher than the captain, in the system, who are backing him up. The next thing we hear is that he died in captivity during interrogation or whatever. So it is not shocking that the security is compromised, even though it's very, very disappointing. And like you have rightly stated, it also shows that no one is safe in this country.
Exactly. All right, thank you very much. Now let's switch gears to the second issue of the day, which is new ministerial appointees matters arising. And with regards to the new ministers who were appointed, we have all over social media there were talks about Festus Keyamo and Akpabio, and there was this information that went all around social media about the new ministerial appointees. It said Akpabio is now Minister of Niger Delta, while Keyamo is the State Minister for Niger Delta. Festus Keyamo is a former EFCC prosecutor, while Godswill Akpabio is a former EFCC suspect. The suspect is now the prosecutor's boss. Now, is this much ado about nothing? Is it a reflection of the Nigerian system? What is your comment on this?
Yes, about 3 days ago, I had an interview with one retired General Shola, and he said something. He said the APC and PDP, they are failed Nigerians. And that by the way the APC leadership are taking people who are suspected to have committed one offense into the party, it means that there's no difference between them and those people that they defeated in the election. Because Colonel Adams or Sherman, they did say that the moment you come to the APC, your sins are forgiven. So you see, I provided this background to show that how could somebody who is being prosecuted now be the boss or the person who was prosecuted, and you expect that there will be a synergy.
All right. Now, there's another issue about the ministerial nominees. Eric Bashala says that he doesn't know anything about the Ministry of Interior. Is it a situation of, a square peg in a round hole? Was he mismatched? What exactly do you think is going on? And do you think the appointment of these ministers, matched their strengths and, weaknesses?
I would say that that's actually the biggest challenge you have. you just throw out a list of names, you know, sometimes we do like in the words of Professor Akin, or the gallery of rogues, you know, essentially to a large extent. We have a lot of decent men in there too, you know, but I say they are ministers without attaching portfolio, and you send them to the National Assembly for them to be screened. I thought that the leadership of Senator Ahmed Lawan was going to improve on the precedent already set by Bukola Saraki when he insisted that next time they are bringing ministers for screening, they should attack portfolios to them so that they can properly grill them to know their depth of knowledge and even program to salvage this country. But I was surprised they even went 2-3 steps backward by just saying take a step and bow. And I can also say, without giving excuse for someone like Festus Keyamo, I'm sure you have told him before that he's going to be a minister of state under Akpabio. It's possible that the young man would have said, no, I can't do this based on my precedent, on my relationship in the past with this man as a professional lawyer and EFCC prosecutor. So it is quite sad that we don't attach portfolios. There's no civilized country, no decent democracy.
I remember this was an issue when you know, Buhari you know, sent out his list.
Yes. But
that was an issue where, you know, some people in the Senate felt that there should be an attachment of portfolios.
Yes, oh, that's the most decent thing to do. In a, like I said, every civilized democracy. That will even make the Senate grill the ministers more to know their program, to know their depth of knowledge. And like you see, a lot of people there don't even have an idea, the faintest idea of what their ministry is all about.
Like
so I wasn't
Arabeshola.
surprised that Arabeshola said he doesn't know anything about the interior, even though that is just another name for internal affairs, you know. So I'm sure he wants to learn on the job, but we're in a precarious situation that it is too delicate to say people should learn on the job at this critical time.
Exactly. Now, moving on, Buhari retains petroleum portfolio. Some persons feel he shouldn't be the Minister of Petroleum. Do you think, you know, do you think the president should be or should not?
Well, I think it is not new. During the tenure of former President Obasanjo, throughout his tenure, he retained the petroleum ministry. It is not an excuse. I think it was one of the reasons why Alhaji Rilwan Lukman, Nigeria's representative at the OPEC, resigned his appointment from Obasanjo government. I don't know why our leaders believe that there is nobody that can manage a particular ministry more than them. Is it for political expediency? Is it for administrative expediency? Is it for the fact that President Buhari had been Minister for Petroleum probably between 1983 and 1985. He now thought that he knew more than anybody that he wanted to appoint. Well, the problem with us is that when we keep on administering a problem, using the same style to solve a problem, you are not likely to get a different answer. I think you are just dancing around this spot. President Buhari should have made a difference by not following a part of what the President Obasanjo did by saying that, look, to every minister, yes, like somebody was telling me 2 days ago that if the local state government is supervising local government and the federal government is supervising the state government, overlooking their functions, who will overlook the functions of the presidency or the executive? So there has to be somebody who has overlooked. The president is the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and is responsible to Nigeria. He should have put somebody there. Or does it mean that there is nobody you can trust? It's a question of, but I believe all these leaders who keep on doing the same thing, they have something in their mind that the rest of us don't know, because it is against the norms of decent democracy and administrative competence for you to say that a particular ministry. Why didn't the president say that I want to retain Ministry of Education?
Why the Ministry of Petroleum?
Why is it that all of them, because I keep on saying that, why is it that all of them insisting on retaining petroleum ministry? Because all of them have done it before. Why? And that is the question we should ask. Why are they retaining petroleum? Why not agric? Why not defense? Why not internal affairs? Why not education? Why are our leaders retaining petroleum ministry? Is it because it's the cash cow of Nigeria? Or does it mean the fact that they are the only one that is knowledgeable enough to man that particular ministry? They have to explain to Nigerians.
Now move on to the next issue, which is Atiku PDP lose appeal against APC at Supreme Court as Presidential Tribunal takes final briefs from parties in presidential petition. Now, there are back and forths with regards to this story. Atiku didn't deny Cameroon, says Buhari. Now Buhari again is saying, no law requires me to tender my certificate, Buhari insists. What are your thoughts on this? Is this, we keep on getting back and forth. Now let's start from the certificate issue by Buhari. He is saying that no law requires me to tender my certificate. Is it trying to say that, certificates are not important, or is it setting a precedent with regards to education in Nigeria?
Well, I think there's something that we have to know. You don't want to be prejudicial,
okay,
because the matter is for some eminent jurists. But if my reading of it matters, I think we have to do a lot of things with regard to the constitution requirement for political office holders. The thing has been made so liberal that you can only just pass through secondary school, not the school passing through you. You don't require that. But the question we now ask is that if it is not a requirement, why did you present that certificate? Why did you present? If to be a governor, or what is required that go to secondary school, did not still have school cert. So why did you present a certificate that is not in addition, or that may be contentious? So the question now is that I think, like when they were swearing the shipyard, I think my brother would say that the man said we are not going to deal with technicalities, we are going to deal with common sense law. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with our legal process in Nigeria. If it is not wrong, okay, why can't you come to the National Assembly come up and say, for you to be a councillor, you must pass through secondary school and produce your certificate. For you to be a member of House of Assembly, you must be a graduate. I know by the time we do that, do you know that in Nigeria today, I'm not downgrading the police. Do you know that some of them give them a particular, they turn it upside down? Most of them cannot read particulars. How did they find themselves in the police force? So this thing is general, it's not only for presidency. Go to the real society of Nigeria, the whole gamut of our administrative system. You find a lot of people that are not competent to be there. But because we want to satisfy balancing, these are our balancing act. It is one because we put that one. Because I'm telling you that from where I come from, there's no way somebody who's not even a graduate can pass. Go to Ekiti State, whether you can find any family there that is not a graduate, that even earn ticket to be a councillor, because in every home there will be a graduate. So let us raise the bar for people who want to do that and put it in our constitution. It is this thing that is causing the lacuna. When you don't put it in the constitution, in the way, the constitution only says that it has to merely pass through. But like I said, the question is that if that is the position of the constitution, why did you get that?
Now, thankfully, we have a lawyer in the house. Please help us shed light to this issue. He has tendered, he has made it known that he has a certificate, but now he's saying that, it's not a must for him to tender a certificate. What exactly are the legal repercussions of this statement?
Yeah, before I would just say that I think my brother here is quite correct in everything he says. The Constitution is a lacuna, it's ambiguous. The text schedule of the Constitution says for you to run for a particular office, you must have school certificate, or it's equivalent. So, which means there are people who didn't even go to school and were the public service. Their years of experience in the service were approximated to a school certificate. So, this is being exploited. I think it has gone to the extent that the Constitution should be amended. Let it emphatically state what is the requirement for each and every position. And then I remember during the Constitution amendment procedure or processes, it is shocking to discover that the National Assembly went and suggested that for you to contest for governorship, presidency, and what have you, should be a graduate. They rejected it. They did.
And why would you think that?
Is it
is it that Nigerian graduates are not interested in politics? Or is it those who are seemingly less educated that are interested in politics?
The processes will not encourage the young ones. For instance, for you to be emerged as a delegate, you have to go through a lot of things within the party. For you to be emerged as a candidate or that particular party, you know what it takes. So young people will not have the monetary requirement to pass through the whole government. In all the political parties, I'm telling you, because it is not that out, you have to pay your way through. And that's why I keep on saying that. Do you know where people stay in office? Before you can become a senator or House of Assembly or councillor in Nigeria, you must have stolen or you must have borrowed a lot of money. So when you get there, the first thing you do is to recoup the money.
All right, let's move on to the last topic, which is confusion over alleged EFCC raid on Ambode's residence. Anti-graft agency denies raid but admits ongoing investigation. Now, we had back and forth, when this news broke out. Would you describe this as a winch hunt situation? Because it's no news that Tinubu and Ambode had one or two issues allegedly. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think I disagree with you. You see, one of the problems we have in this country is that we have the tendency of politicizing and ethnicizing everything that happens. Tinubu is not the EFCC. I'm not Tinubu's advocate, but it's not logical to say that because Tinubu has something to happen. Is Tinubu EFCC? The answer is no. EFCC is a body that is properly constituted. And I think we should have patience to test the law. There cannot be smoke without fire. Yes, the EFCC is even yet to prove their case. Because you can remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, they said a particular amount of money was allegedly found in the account of one of the permanent secretaries. So there has to be trace. You see, the problem with us is that, like I said, we decide things, and for some lawyers to come out, I'm not taking by that they are lawyers from Ekpe. What is that? It tells you that it's kinsman, like in Nigeria. If anybody sees money, it's our son from Ogun State too. We won't allow the loss of justice, and we cannot have a decent society if we begin to ethicize every other person. Let them go to court and prove themselves wrong. Now, they also said that they suspected that they wanted to plant dollars. Let them show us the dollars now. What kind of thing is that? So let them show us the dollars. We should be patient enough for them to allow them their law enforcement agents. You have lawyers, and I believe Ambode is eminently qualified to employ the best lawyer to defend himself. But we should not distract attention of law enforcement agents by saying, because it's our son, we don't want to. And that is happening all over Nigeria. If you take somebody from the IPOB or something, will say, if you touch our son, you say, take somebody from Chokoto, you say, we are going to. For how long are we going to begin to do this? We are not going to allow the system to work. And for people to ethnicize things and politicize it, to draw lineages before the fact that somebody is disagreeing, I think it is not proper. We are not going to allow the system to run properly. Let us allow the system to run. And as far as I'm concerned, I was really important. I was taken aback by the level to which we have descended. That if they accuse me now of stealing a woman, people will say that is our son. I think it is very logical, and we are not helping ourselves by doing that kind of thing.
All right. Apart from the statement his lawyers made about EFCC trying to plant, some evidence in his house, there were also statements that the said accused wasn't even at home before they came to, raid his house or something. Now, is that lawful for, security agencies, to have a search warrant and try to search the house when the said accused is not in the house?
No, the law is that you must have a search warrant, and if you have a search warrant, that search must be conducted in the presence of the accused, or someone can stand in his stead if the wife is there, for it to be lawfully conducted. Because why those things are done is to prevent what they are saying now, the idea of trying to plant evidence. Somebody must be there to ensure that that search was properly carried out without you bringing in something to plant. My house has been searched before during the military, and I insisted on the search warrant. And by the time they said, I'll go to every room with them to see where they are saying, so that prevent them from planting something. So everybody does not necessarily need to be at home. But if his wife is there, or an adult, who is a legal entity, can be there, and they will conduct this in the presence of that person. And at the end of the day, they will take inventory of what was seen and what was taken, and both parties will sign, as the EFCC officials will sign, and this person will also sign. If somebody was at home, it would have been better, but it doesn't mean whether he's at home or not. Because people can just like try to evade justice now when you want to serve them
someone, exactly.
They'll start escaping. But of course, the law also provide a way for that. What it costs of service. You go and, when you get an order of court, you carry it in the newspaper, or you go and paste it in the last known address. Let him pretend that he didn't see it. He has been duly served in the eye of the law. So I don't think Ambode needed to be at home. But what is bothering me on the side of the of both parties. One, like my brother here said, what is the business of people gathering and trying to prevent law enforcement agents from carrying
I think residents of Ekpe actually...
What if they are being accidental discharged? If those guys are not well trained now, they'll say, oh, the law enforcement agent have killed some people and all that, but you are obstructing justice.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hausa Director, for giving us the legal perspective to that. Thank you very much for, coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Tunde Abato, for doing justice to the issues.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we need to call it a wrap on the show today. Many thanks to my producer, Mrs. Funke Fadugba, for producing this show, and many thanks to the rest of the production crew. Till I see you again next time, I am Folashade Ogurinde. Take care, bye-bye.